Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Denise with Lazy K Homestead. Well, as you can see, I have got some pots and some dirt, and I'm in my back bedroom. Normally, I would do this in the greenhouse, but because it's still winter and it's really hard to keep a greenhouse warm, I am starting some seeds back here that I'll transfer to the back to the greenhouse when the temperature is where I can keep it warm without, going into my life savings. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hang a grow light from the ceiling up there. I'm going to go ahead and do that in a few minutes, and I'll see if I can do that on camera without killing myself. And we have got cabbage in here. I've got some lettuce that's growing too, which I'll probably pull up because it's already too leggy, and I can go ahead and replant that in another pot. Uh, Rather, reseed that in a different pot, and I'll just have to pull these up and throw them to the chickens because they're too leggy and they won't do right. But what we've also got here is some tomatoes, and I know it's early for tomatoes, but in the greenhouse and in my grow bags, once we get to the point where we're above 40 every day, I can keep the greenhouse at a pretty good temperature with my electric and my propane heaters. We also have broccoli down here. Now, these aren't up. I only planted them a couple days ago. And that's more cabbage in that one. And this one is, let me see what that is. That's also a broccoli. So I thought I would go ahead and start these a little early. Keep spring in my soul instead of what we're in for next week is another Arctic blast. So I thought you guys might like to stay on this little journey and see how well we do with this. Now, what I've done in the past and found that it really does well is I just go ahead and put all my seeds in one container. All this is just tomato seeds. I didn't separate them. Again, with the broccoli, tomatoes, cabbage, and as they come up, I will separate them and put them in separate containers. I have found, and I don't know the science behind it, but I have found that they do so much better that way instead of putting one seed in a pot at a time. And I've done that over the last 10 years or so and found that that is the best way. For us, anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this and get myself ready to put the grow light up, and I'll show you what I'm doing. Okay, I got my grow light hung from the ceiling, and I attached it with some baling twine. Now, if you want to get a chain, that's up to you, but this is what I had on hand, and I like to use what I have. So here are my buckets and pots right here, and I've got that grow lamp or light right down as close as I possibly can because the seeds have not emerged yet, except for, like I said, I've got some lettuce, and I'm just pulling that up and sacrificing it to the chickens because I don't want lettuce in here anymore. This has got cabbage seeds. I'm going to go ahead and get another grow light. I think I've got another one, but I don't think I've got the light bulbs, and they are fluorescent. So what I did in the meantime was I put aluminum foil. And what that does is reflects the light from this grow light and the warmth. And I've used this method for many years in the back bedroom, and it works really well to keep everything at a good temperature and keep the light. And I'll keep this on 24 hours a day until they get to the point where I am going to repot them, and then they'll go into my greenhouse. And to water these guys, what I do is I have a spray bottle. I just picked it up at Dollar General. Pick it up wherever you guys can. And I just spray these until they are wet, not soaked, because you don't want to soak your seeds, because you could actually drown your seeds at this stage. And another thing I wanted to talk about was when I planted these, Willis and I do our very best to plant by the signs. And that means the signs of the moon. And the reason we do that is because it's kind of something that is in both of our families, especially his. But what I wanted to tell you about it is when it came about, it's been around for years and years, is people back in the day didn't have the luxury of their cell phone or the TV or um, anything that could tell them when to plant or what the weather was going to be. So they used the signs of nature and the moon and what it meant and when to plant. We now are very blessed to have almanac calendars, or the farmer's almanac that has been out for many years, and to help you know when to plant seed beds, plant root crops, plant above ground crops, when not to plant, barren days. And we have found it very true. If you don't plant within the time frame that they give you, because you could have a beautiful leafy bean plant, the whole crop, the plants look just gorgeous, never greener, but have a really bad bean crop itself. And we've had that happen. So we really are believers in the signs. So if you guys can get your hands on an almanac calendar, just kind of read through it and it'll tell you all the different things. Let me see if I can grab mine real quick. Okay, here we are in January 2023. And this week is the week of the 15th through the 21st. So you go over here and you look and you see, well, when can I start seed beds? Now, of course, you have to kind of use common sense and know where you are. And so I knew I could start seed beds in my back bedroom because we are in for another Arctic blast this next week. So the greenhouse was out of the question. So I'm looking down here, and on the 15th, which was Sunday, I went ahead and got all these seed beds together. That's what these are, seed beds. I put all my seeds in there, I watered them, and still waiting for the seeds to emerge, except the lettuce. Okay, so that being said, let's go back to the 15th, and it gives you all the things that are happening with the moon. And then you see you can start seed beds from the 15th to the 16th. Good days for transplanting. And also you can plant carrots, turnips, onions, beets, Irish potatoes, other root crops in the south, which for the south for us would probably mean Florida. So that's probably Florida's planting. For us up here on the Cumberland Plateau in Tennessee, we're in Zone 6B. We couldn't do that outside because everything would freeze and the ground would freeze. So there you have to use your common sense. So I knew I'd be able to plant them in here. So I'll be able to keep them warm, keep them with the light that they need, and care for them until I can transplant them myself. So let's go along here. Okay, now we're at the 17th, which is Tuesday. That has passed. No planting, good harvest days. So that means don't plant anything. I wouldn't even plant a seed bed in my back bedroom just because it has something to do with the moon cycle. I don't know exactly. I'll have to ask Willis because he knows more about that than I do. I could read up on it and but I haven't. But I know that it has to do with the moon cycle, and when the moon is in different sections, or I know what that's not the right word, but in that you can't plant. Now we're going to go, and that says from the 17th to the 18th. Okay, here we are on the 19th. Today says good planting days for root crops where climate permits. Okay, there's your common sense. So if you were in like zone 8 or 9, you could plant your root crops, no problem. So that says you can do that from the 19th to the 20th. Then we'll go over here and see what the 21st says. Good time to kill pests and do plowing. Poor for planting. Now that's what we call barren days. Barren days means don't plant anything. Just go out there and just take care of what you have to take care of. If you need to clear a garden, if you need to burn brush, if you anything like that, just kind of maintenance of your garden and your yard. That's what a barren day is. So I hope that helps you guys, and I will keep you abreast of what is going on here with these seeds. And you see I've got a few more of these lettuce that want to come up. I had lettuce. If you know anything about lettuce, oh my gosh, it comes back and back and back. But I will plant some more of these in a different pot because I do like fresh lettuce. So anyway, guys, that is my video for today. I hope it helps, and maybe you'll try this. It's not the prettiest thing ever in the world, that's for sure, but it works. And also, let me just tell you, also, if you want to, and if you've got a big piece of plastic, just put it over this. It'll have a greenhouse effect, and it'll make it have condensation. So in case there's days that you forget to water, it's kind of watered for you. But it is very important to keep these seeds moist, because they're not going to grow if there's no water. This is Miracle Grow seed mixture. It's in a blue bag, which I don't have. I believe I threw it away. But I think that is a really good seed mixture for seeds. It's done well for us over all the years, and it's in the blue bag. So I hope you like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you real soon. Hopefully Saturday we'll have the video I was going to do today, but it's too windy. Bye!